Okay, so the synopsis of the code, this code, is the basic concept and techniques of financial and managerial accounting. Okay, the combination of financial and managerial. Okay, a continuation of ACD 101. You already taken last two semester, ACD 101. Okay, with additional financial accounting and managerial accounting fundamentals. Okay, first accounting for corporate honest equity. Okay, second concept procedures and uses of management reports, cost behavior, cost accumulation, budgeting, financial statement analysis, and responsibility account. That is the synopsis of the code. Okay, so actually the academic staff is me actually, Madam Rosaliza. Okay, so the credit value is 3. Okay, so acquisition prerequisite for you to have to pass the ACD 101 first. After that, you must take ACD 102. Okay, so this is the course learning outcome. So they have 3 learning outcomes. Okay, in this subject, first is identify the significant legal and accounting features of the corporate form of organization. Second is describe the role that long-term liabilities play in the corporate capital structure and the application of present value concept to bond payable. Okay, actually ACD 102 is more difficult than ACD 101 if you want to know. Okay. Again, then CLO3 show the role accounting plays in management decision making through the use of cost planning and cost control. That is the learning outcome. Okay, then this is just the PLO table. Okay, so the teaching method is lecture and tutorial as usual. Okay, then what is the, let's look at the, okay, this is the topic that we will cover for this semester. First is introduction, corporations and partnership. All these things I've already downloaded in the upload in the LMS system, and then notes also already there. Okay, until chapter topic 7 if I'm not mistaken. So after this I will continue upload another 7 topic in there. Okay, so we will cover how many topics here. We have 13 actually. Okay, 13 subject is 13 subtopic. Okay, so the first one is introduction, cooperation and partnership. Okay, we will look into the cooperation, and before this we look into sole proprietorship, right? Okay, so then we will more further look at the cooperation itself, and also more further on partnership. And then what is the additional corporate transactions, for example in partnership, how to calculate earnings per shares. Okay, on the third topic is installment, notes payable and bonds, how to calculate the bonds. Okay, and then the fourth is reporting and using cash flow in decision making. Okay, analyze financial statements, managerial and cost accounting concept that we will touch on the basic cost accounting on our ACD 101. Okay, last 2 semester. Okay, so we continue more further on the cost accounting concept itself. Okay, so let's, after that we will move to the new production management concept. Okay, job order costing, process costing, how we want to calculate the process costing, cost allocation and activity based costing, and then CBP. Many topics that we must cover on the short semester. Okay, so the master budget, flexible budget, and also capital budget. So the continuous assessment, as usual, we have quiz to 20%. All right, the assignment 20%, and then for midterm test is 20%. Later on, I will inform to you which topic that we cover on the quiz, assignment, and also midterm. Okay? And then we also have final assessment that is 40% from the assessment. Okay? 60% is continuous assessment. Alright? And then another 40% is for final assessment. Okay, final assessment yang kita ada soalan apa, yang kita ada soalan final lah. Okay. So, itu sedikit sebanyak kita punya course outline ataupun syllabus for the semester. So, let's continue to the first chapter today. Mana Joshua tak masuk lagi ni? Okay, never mind. Let's proceed for the chapter number 1. That is introduction, the corporation and partnership. Okay, what is the difference between corporation and also partnership? Okay, partnership we have the person there or the owner of the partnership is around 2 until 20 maximum. Okay, but for corporation is larger. The owner of the business is many owners. Okay, ataupun kita panggil dia sebagai shareholder. Okay, shareholder. Maksudnya corporation is the biggest business organization that is compared to the partnership. Okay, let's look more about. Okay, the objective is to know about the corporation and partnership, and also to identify the advantages and disadvantages of the corporation and partnership, and also to understand the organization chart. Okay, what is the organization chart for the corporation and also for the partnership? Okay, and then to identify the other organization under corporation. What else that we have under corporation? Okay, and then let's look at the types of organization. Number 1 is partnership. Okay, partnership and also corporation. Okay, this is the figure. Okay, discuss about what? Okay, the number of organizations. Okay, this is the what we call is apa tu nama dia? Pie chart. This is the pie chart. Okay, we call it as a pie chart. Okay. So the first pie chart is for number of organizations, second is sales, and third is net income. Okay. Kalau if you look at the number of organization for corporation number of mostly we have a sole proprietorship business organization. Okay. Kebanyakan dekat luar sana dia buka perniagaan organisasi apa? Sole proprietorship sahaja. The biggest one, the biggest number that open sole proprietorship. Sole proprietorship means that what? Okay, that they have only one owner. One person as an owner. Owner dia seorang sahaja. But if we go to the corporation large, okay, many owner. Okay, more than 50 owners. Okay, kalau corporation. So about 19.9 is corporation and the balances is partnership, right? So for the red one is partnership. Okay, so the most biggest number of organization is sole proprietorship. Okay, this is the statistical abstract of the US on 2006. Okay. So, how about the sales? Okay, active, but then for sales pie chart, okay, So about 83.6% of the sales come from cooperation, okay, organization cooperation, okay, but for only 11.8 sales is come from partnership organization, okay. So for partnership, only 4.6. The smallest numbers of sales that contribute while the sales are sole proprietorship. It means that if your organization is bigger, then you will create or you will get many sales, something like that. Okay. So same goes to net income. If we have more sales, then we will have more income or profit. Okay. So about 53.4 net income comes from corporation. Okay. And then 20.9% net income from sole proprietorship. Okay. So that's why it's better for you to open a big business organization that is corporation. Okay. Oops, laju lah. Okay, so let's look at the business in the United States can be organized as a sole proprietorship, partnership, and corporation. Their number, sales, and profits vary widely. Okay, so the corporation make up only 20% of the business, but account for over half of the total net income. So, which business organization accounts for the largest amount of sales? Of course, the answer is what? Class. The answer is what? Which business organization accounts for the largest amount of sales? Yeah, that's right. Okay. Corporation. So let's look at other partnership. Okay, what is partnership? Okay, partnership is the business jointly owned and run by two or more people. Okay, so for example, if Rishi and Rachel form a business organization, okay, for example, you open up uh, what is it? Business apa? Contoh business in the food industry. Okay, so if you have the two owners join together to open up the business, so that is called a partnership. Okay, we have two or more owners in partnership. Okay, so we have how many types of partner here? Partnership. Okay, so they have two types of actually the partnership itself. The first one is general partnership and second is limited partnership. Okay, so general partnership it means that all partners share responsibilities. Okay, semua sekali everyone in the partnership itself have their own responsibility towards the partnership itself. Okay, for the second type of partnership, that is limited partnership, at least one partner isn't active in daily business activities. For example in law firm, if you look at your cuba tengok dekat kalau you pergi mana-mana ada business outlet kan. Kadang-kadang you akan jumpa law firm. Okay, dia punya signboard dia tulis kat situ mesti ada nama. Contohlah kalau law firm mesti dia ada nama. For example and Johnson and Paul Johnson, Paul and Co. That is if we found the orang kata apa dia punya signboard tu, dia tulis Johnson, Paul and Co. That is the law firm yang iaitu limited, okay, partnership. Okay. Other than that is physician groups. For example, If like clinic, it's like clinic Raju dan kawan-kawan. That also example for limited partnership. Okay. Or other than that is architectural firms. Okay, limited partnership, we call it as professional, specifically for professional partnership. For example, doctors, lawyers, architecture, accounting, okay, accounting firm, okay, all of them, okay, with join together with other members, okay, to form a law firm, for example, and also architecture firm. That is the another types of the partnership that you must know. Okay, what is the advantages? Okay, let's look at the advantages of the partnership itself. Okay, so the first one, easy to start. Why easy to start? Because we have many people, or we have a partner that have a different skills that can contribute to the business organization, that can contribute, for example, capital to the business. Okay. So second is easy to manage. Okay. Why easy to manage? Because we can uh, boleh bekerjasama antara setiap partner yang ada dalam partnership tersebut. Masing-masing akan ada tugas untuk managekan business tersebut. That is why the partnership is easy to manage. Okay, the third one is lack of special taxes on partnership. Okay, dia tidak tertakluk kepada pembayaran tax. Okay, and then number 4, easy to get financial capital if you have a partner. Just like what I said before this. Okay. And then number 5, more efficient daily operation. Ownership can share the workload, right? So if you only have one person, if you just have you as an owner, you must do everything by your own. Okay, that is for sole proprietorship. Okay, but for partnership, your daily operation will become more easy. Okay, number 6, the advantage is easier to attract talented workers. Okay, so that is also if you have advantages, so comes with the disadvantages. In general partnership, each partner is fully responsible for action of other partners. Okay. So kalau seorang buat masalah, so semua akan terlibat sekali. Itu maksudnya. Kalau kita ada form a general partnership lah. Okay. So in limited partnership, a partner's responsibility for that depends on size of his investment in the firm. Okay. If the partnership is a limited partnership, then the liability or the debt is, maksudnya tanggungjawab, how much untuk every person tu dia different. Okay, kalau A, contoh dia ada dua group members, okay, A and B. Okay, dia ada dua partner. Okay, A contribute 100,000 to the business. Okay, and then B only contribute 50,000 of the business. So kalau lah mereka ni bankrupt ataupun ada losses, okay, so orang yang partner yang A ni akan mempunyai tanggungjawab yang besar untuk membayar debt based on their investment in the partnership. If you compare with partner yang B yang hanya contribute 50,000 ringgit. That is the disadvantages. Okay. So limited lifespan in the business, potential conflict between partners. Yes, that is correct. Okay, kalau kita ada lebih kepada 2-3 owner ni, maksudnya akan increase the potential to have a conflict between between the partners itself lah. Okay, so dia orang akan ada sesuatu yang tidak bersetuju dengan perkara-perkara tertentu, so limited lifespan, so dia orang akan bubarkan ataupun orang kata uh, tutup lah, apa nama dia, liquidation, so dia akan tutup ataupun partnership tu dia akan close lah, masing-masing akan membawa haluan masing-masing. Dia tak nak dah bekerjasama, so the partnership is closed. So that's why the disadvantage of the partnership is they have limited lifespan in the business. Okay, so other than that, lack of resources, okay, share decision making and profit pun kena share lah. That is the disadvantage. And also unlimited liability. Okay, let's move to the cooperation. Cooperation is what? Okay, the first let's look at the first bullet. Form a business recognized. Form of business recognized by law as a separate legal entity with all the rights of an individual. Okay, the corporation have to file for permission with federal or state government to create, and then partially owned by stockholder, investor who buys ownership certificates in the firm. So kalau the corporation, it means that they have many stockholders. Okay, ya, dia adalah investor yang membeli, okay, who buys the ownership certificates in the firm. Maksudnya stockholder ni, person ni, dia invest kan, give the capital to the corporation, and then if they contribute the capital, for example 500,000, and then they will get the certificate of ownership. Okay, so that is, we call it as stockholder. Because the stockholder buy share. Okay, buy share of the corporation amounted to 500,000, so that the stockholder will own the firm. Okay, dia ada ni lah, for example like for AGM, ABC, NBC, that is the example of corporation. Okay, so what is the advantages? Easy to raise financial capital because of they can sell stocks to investors, can borrow money by issuing bonds that it will repay with the interest. Nanti dia contohnya, okay, pertama dia kata senang untuk easy to raise financial capital. So kita akan jual saja. Corporation will sell their share to increase their capital. Capital means that modal lah. In Malay we call it as modal. Okay, can borrow money, and then after that they also can issue bonds. Bonds is also types of dia adalah salah satu share jugalah, jenis. Okay, after this kita akan chapter yang seterusnya kita akan tengok apa dia bonds. Okay, macam mana cara kita nak calculate? To calculate the bonds amount. Okay, actually bonds means that the corporation borrow money from shareholders, borrow money from outsiders ataupun person lah. That we call it as issuing bond. Okay, so borrow money, okay, from outsider. Okay, and then what is the advantage? Another advantage, limited liability. Okay, what is limited liabilities? Okay, if the owners or shareholders, okay, buy some shares or stock from the corporation, so that we call it as the shareholders' right. So the shareholders or the owners, okay, the owners have limited liability. It means that if If, okay, limited liabilities come when the corporation bear the losses, ataupun kalaulah tiba-tiba the corporation bankruptcy, going to winding up. Contohnya, okay. So, kalau ada bankruptcy, so the owners or the shareholders of the business or the corporation will only have a limited liability. So, tanggungjawab dia adalah terhad. Okay, itu maksud dia. So, owners ni, kalaulah dia hanya invest 100,000 dalam corporation, so if the corporation winding up or bankruptcy, so the owners only lost money that they invest. That is 100,000. So other than that, the owners did not bear that losses. Okay, so dia tak akan bertanggungjawab untuk membayar lebih daripada 100,000. That we call it as, that is the definition of limited liability. Okay, dia terhad kepada 100,000 ringgit sahaja. Okay, so contohnya kalau ada lagi corporation tu berhutang kepada orang lain amounted to 1 million, for example. So, owner tadi tu dia tidak akan bertanggungjawab untuk membayar hutang 1 million tadi. Because of the corporation, the ownership is limited liability. Okay? That is the definition of limited liability. You must understand. Alright? But for partnership, okay, the owner of the partnership is unlimited liability. It means that if the partnership is incur loss, okay, so all of the asset of the owner must be used to pay the debt. The personal asset of the owner of the partnership must pay all the debts of the partnership itself. But for corporations, okay, the personal asset for the owners, kita tak akan kacau, kita tak akan gunakan personal asset owners tadi untuk bayar segala hutang-hutang corporation. That we call it as limited liability. Okay, so what else the advantages? Director can hire professional manager to run the firm. Okay, and then unlimited life. And unlimited life, it means that the corporation, we assume that will continue over foreseeable future. So sampai kita tak tahu, kita akan anggap corporation ni akan continue operate until foreseeable future. That is called unlimited life. Okay, so and then easy to transfer ownership. Okay, because of the corporation, we use shareholders or stockholders that can sell their stock. If you don't want to invest, if you don't want to be a shareholders of that corporation, then you will transfer your ownership to others by sell your stock or shares. So that is in corporation. Okay. Only in corporation that you will find out the name of stockholders. Kalau dekat partnership tak ada pun perkataan stockholders. Kalau dalam sole proprietorship punya business organization pun tak akan jumpa. Okay, yang hanya jumpa dekat dalam corporation sahaja. Okay. Or we call it as company. In Malaysia we call it as a company, berhad. Sendirian berhad. Okay. So in US we call it as corporation. Okay, what is the disadvantages? Okay, The first one is double taxation of profit. The corporation must pay the taxes on its profit. And then the stockholders, if they got the dividend, okay, if they earn the dividend from the corporation, they also must pay the taxes on the money that the business made. That is the disadvantages. Okay, the double taxation. Taxation means that cukai. Okay, you must pay money to the government. Okay, if your corporation have a profit, then the corporation itself must pay the tax to the government. Okay, but and then another one is the stockholders. If you an owner to the corporations, you also must pay the taxes. Alright? So the double taxation there. And then second one, difficult and expenses to get a corporation chartered. Okay? And then the third one, owner stockholders have little to no voice in how business is run, even with majority stock, because the corporation is run by the management. Okay, the the head of the management, we call it as chief executive officer. Kadang-kadang owner dia pun, ownership ataupun shareholder tu tak ada, dia tak akan didengari suara. Macam tu lah maksudnya. That is the disadvantages. Okay, untuk buat, if you want to uh, make some decision about your corporation, okay, the power is in CEO, Chief Executive Officer, not the power is not from the shareholders. Even though the shareholders is the owners of the organization or the corporation, but then the CEO is having the power to control and manage or plan for the corporation. That is the disadvantages of the corporation. And then other than that, the corporation will subject to more government regulation. Okay. Biasalah, dia akan subject to government policies and government political situation and also economic situation. Okay. Sebab corporation tu kan suatu bisnes yang besar. Dia melibatkan banyak pihak. So that's why lah, of course, subject to more government regulation. Okay, so this is the typical corporation of what we call it as, apa tu nama dia, organization chart. Okay, this is the organization chart for corporation. So look here. So the stockholder. This is the stockholders or the owner. Okay, many stockholders there. Okay, that contribute money, capital to the business. Okay, by buying shareholders. So that we call it as the stockholders or shareholders. Stockholders or shareholders is the same thing. Okay, stockholders usually used for US, and then shareholders is British English. Okay, so the board of directors are under the stockholders. We have the chairperson or board of directors, and then under the board of directors we have a CEO. So the CEO is the management team, the head of the management team. Okay, in the corporation. Okay, so in the CEO we have the secretary, treasurer, and then we have the vice president for each of the department. Marketing department, production department, R&D department, personnel department. Okay, then we have the supervisor or manager of the department itself. Okay, so let's look at the percentage of what is this. Okay. Percentage of firms, okay, the highest is the sole proprietorship. Same goes to the pie chart. Before this we discussed, okay, percentage of sales, the corporation is more higher. Yeah, and then percentage of employee, corporation gives 60%, contribute to 60% of employed. Okay. Sebab dia apa? Bila company besar dia akan menggunakan employees ataupun hire more employees to their organization. Okay. Okay. Let's look at limited liability company. Okay. So what is the limited liability company or LLC? Okay, that is not a corporation, pass-through entity, two person who own it, no double taxation. Okay, kalau limited liability company, it's different from corporation. Corporation is more bigger than the limited liability company. Okay. So what else we have in there? Okay, that is for limited liability, but for franchise, okay. How about franchise? Franchises, so look here. What is this? Domino Pizza, right? Papa John's Pizza. And then, what is this? What is this logo for? McDonald's, right? 7E Burger King, that is called franchise. Okay? Franchise means that the business that many more branches throughout the world. Okay, franchise. Okay, for example, Dunkin' Donuts, Subway, because you can find out this franchise even though you are in US or you are in Philippines, for example, or you are in Malaysia. Okay, that is franchise. Okay, so let's look at non-profit organization. Okay, what is non-profit organization? Uh, Organization or a group of people that often the what we call is often a group. Often an organization not because of to get the profit. So that is the non-profit organization. For example, is church, religion organization, okay, charitable organization, for example, United Way, American Red Cross, okay, that is a non-profit organization for welfare, okay, or charitable organization. And this is the example of the non-profit organization. Okay. Actually, for the non-profit organization, dia biasanya cooperatives from the members, okay. So biasanya dia consume ataupun purchase the wholesale clubs. Contoh kalau dia buka, dia non-profit organization, but then the business inside the organization is for not for profit but for charitable event, okay, or to welfare, untuk apa, contoh untuk pelarian, okay, untuk mangsa-mangsa yang negara dia ada apa, terkena peperangan, kita akan nampak banyak non-profit organisation yang akan tolong bantu, okay, bantu keadaan mereka dekat sana. Okay, after and then producer marketing, ada juga dia akan non-profit organisation ni dia dekat bahagian agriculture. Okay, dia tanam tumbuh-tumbuhan ataupun tanam pokok untuk diberikan kepada inilah charitable untuk pada people yang apa kata tak berkemampuan, something like that. That is non-profit organisation. Dia untuk kebajikan, welfare. Okay. Okay, what else? Ini satunya. Okay, contoh lain dia adalah for services, ada juga yang dia menjalankan services, for example credit union, okay, insurance, HMO, childcare, okay, ataupun dia dalam industrial, okay. For example in Europe, okay, actually dia orang banyak sangat non-organizational yang under industrial, okay. Ni contoh dia lah, contoh some example of the vertical integration of the non-profit organization. So GM Motors, okay, this is not very important to understand. Okay, let's move. Okay, that's all. Okay, for the first chapter, actually the summary to know about the corporation and partnership. Okay, we already know what is the corporation, what is the partnership, what is the difference between it. Okay, and then we already know and identify the advantage and disadvantages of the cooperation and also partnership, and then to understand the organization chart, okay, to identify the other organization under cooperation, for example non-profit organization. Okay, so is there any question for the first chapter here? No. Okay, so that how, okay, let's look at the because of for the introduction that is more easy, right? But let's look at the second chapter. Okay, let's move to another chapter that is additional corporate transactions. Wait for a while, I will find out which slides. Okay, for the accounting for partnership in the PDF, I already give you in the WhatsApp. You can go through the PDF. You just go to pembacaan tambahan, additional reference to you. Okay. Good job. Give me 1-2 minutes. Okay, let's look at the chapter number 2, that is reporting income, retained earnings, and also EPS. EPS is stand for earning per share. Okay, so what is the objective of the topic number 2 is to identify the types of income. Second is the importance of income. Understand the retained earning. What is retained earning? And also what is the EPS and the effects of earning per share. Okay, personal choice about investment in oneself as a human capital through education, training, and skill development impact in the earnings. Okay, what is earning? Okay, let's look at the what is a human capital. The human capital is the knowledge, okay, and skills a person possess. That is the human capital. Employee that have a skill or knowledge towards the certain area of the for example, a lecturer has a skill in certain subjects. Okay, some lecturers have a technical skill in computer, for example, like that. That is a human capital. Okay, so how can individuals invest in their own human capital? It means that how can the individuals will get some return or some income from their skill. That's what we call it as a human capital. With your knowledge, why you why you go to further your study in college? Because of to increase your knowledge, right? To increase your skills. So if you after you graduate from the college, so what you want to be? Using your skills and using your knowledge uh, from your college, what do you want to do? For example, you want to be a business woman, or if you want to work uh, in large corporations, something like that, that we call it as a human capital. Okay, so people invest in their own human capital when they gain knowledge and skills through education, training, and experience. That is called human capital. Okay, so what is the effect to the income? So macam mana human capital ni, employees lah especially, boleh meningkatkan income ataupun apa effect kepada income. So people with more education, and skills tend to earn higher income than uneducated and unskilled workers. So together, okay, skills and education can give the person increase their income. Is that true? Yes. Okay. So what is the differentiating among sources of income? People can receive income from a variety of sources. Okay. So daripada berbanyak sumber kita boleh dapatkan income. What are some of the ways to earn income? Okay, how to get the income from salary. Okay, and then hourly wages. Okay, ataupun overtime tips. That is income earned. Okay, another income we also call it an unearned. Unearned is more uh, unearned because okay we got the income from not from the works that we do. For example, salary. We do the works and then we got the salary. But for unearned, we we got the income secara indirectly. Okay. For example, if you have a fixed deposit in the bank, so if you have a fixed deposit, then every years you will unearn an interest of the fixed deposit. That is we call it an unearned income. So and then next is return on investment. Okay, return on investment. For example, if you have invest some of your money into a portfolio. Okay, portfolio for example in a bank product in banking. So then you will got your return. Return same goes with the interest result. So return on investment. Okay, the third one unearned is inheritance from your business, family business for example, and also give this by the some person to you. Okay, that is unearned. Earned salary, for example, hourly wage, overtime, tips, commission, and bonuses. Okay, piece rate it means that you work at the manufacturing company and then okay, how in one day how many product that you will produce. So if you have 10 product that you will produce and then times with one product you will pay 100 ringgit. So in one day you will 100 ringgit times with 10, 1000 ringgit per day using piece rate method. Okay, that is piece rate, that is earned income. Okay, so how to calculate net pay? Okay, how to calculate net pay? Net pay is what remains after voluntary and required deduction are subtract from the gross pay. Okay, that is a net pay. Net pay means that our salary we must deduct with some deduction. For example, if we have okay as a lecturer, okay, uh, my gross pay is 4,000 for example, and then you must minus with KWSP ataupun EPS deduction, and then what else? Deduct, and then you will get the net pay itself. For example, if we have 200 and then total net pay is RM 3,800. That is net pay. Alright? The gross pay after we deduct with the deductions. Okay, next. What is gross pay? The total money earned before deduction. Okay? Before deduction is gross pay. After deduction, what is it? Net pay. Okay? So some deduction are required and some may be voluntary. So what is net pay? What are common deductions from gross pay that affect the net pay? Okay, net pay result when deductions such as the following are subtracted from the gross pay. Okay, for example, we deduct with the contribution. In US we call it a federal insurance contribution, but then for in Malaysia we call it as employees fund. What is stand for P? I can't remember. And F fund. Okay, EPF. Okay, so the deduction, for example, is EPF. Then we have this state and federal taxes. For example, if your income is more than 4,000, so you must pay the taxes for the government. And then if you have a voluntary deduction, for example, if you take a medical insurance or life insurance, and then another voluntary deduction is for saving. Okay, the employees provident fund, that is retirement scheme. Okay, or medical reimbursement or child care reimbursement, that is example. Okay, this is the example of the deduction. Okay, deduction from your gross pay. Deduction from your gross pay. So you have the gross pay and then minus the deduction, and then you will get net pay. Okay. So the gross pay is net pay. Basically, net pay is lowest amount than the gross pay. Okay, what is employees benefit and incentive? Employees may have a variety of benefits and incentives to consider. Mesti dia ada, setiap pekerja tu mesti ada dia punya benefit and incentive yang employer akan bagi kepada mereka. So, apa dia employee benefits? Benefits are part of an employee's compensation over and above wages or salary. So, if benefits means that the number of money that is different from employee salary. Okay, that's why they call it as over and above wages or salary. They add to the financial value of the job. Okay, so if the company give you benefits, so that is added value to your salary. What is the example of employees benefit? Retirement, for example, retirement saving plans, okay, saving plans itself, okay, parking, health insurance plans, medical, okay. If you work at manufacturing company, they will give you medical free charge, medical free charge, okay. And then dia akan bagi contoh, dia akan bagi apa? Cuti untuk child care ataupun elder care, paid vacation, and then profit sharing, paid sick days. Okay, itu adalah contoh-contoh. That is the example of the benefits, okay, given by employer to employee. That is increase the value of the salary of the employee itself. Okay. What is incentives? Okay, different from the benefits itself. Okay, incentives are offered, okay, as motivation. Benefit is different from incentive. Okay, incentive is uh, for benefit, that is increase your financial value. But for incentive, that the the employer motivates employees to perform well, and may include, for example, bonus, profit sharing, free travel. That is incentive. Okay, benefit is more to medical pay, alright, something like that. But for incentives such as bonus, okay, profit sharing, ataupun increased salary, okay, that we call it as incentive. Okay, W4 form, W4, this is the form that used in US. Okay, so in Malaysia, we do not have W4 form. So let's ignore the slide. Okay. Okay, so let's move. Okay, enough with the net pay. So let's look at retained earnings. Okay, did you remember on acd101 we already discussed about the retained earnings? Ingat lagi tak? Did you remember what is retained earnings? Okay. So, what is it? Instead of distributing the entire profit to the shareholders, company retains some profit for the purpose of, okay, retain means that the profit of the company or the corporation. So, they put aside that profit for the purpose, untuk apa? Disimpan. Retain earnings tu maksudnya profit yang kita simpan. Okay. First, untuk kita menambah, accumulate our earnings, okay. Setiap income yang kita gunakan, kita kena simpan sikit. So, kita kena tambahkan dekat bahagian simpan yang kita tak boleh nak usik langsung, we call it as accumulation of earnings. Okay. Fixed amount. Okay, kita tak boleh nak usik langsung, accumulation of earnings. Okay, number yang second is investment in fixed asset. Investment means that you buy some, you use the profit, okay, use the profit to buy some assets. Okay, for example, buy machinery. Okay, what else? You buy motor van for business. Okay, so we call it as investment in fixed assets. Okay, and then the third one, to meet working capital needs. Okay, okay, the money that used for daily operation. So that we call it as a working capital. Okay, we must have that money to running the business operation. We must have a capital. Alright. So the retained earning is used for these three purposes. Okay. Why we put aside the profit from the corporation for these three purposes. Alright. Okay. Merits of logging backs of profit. Okay, for the to the company, kenapa kena simpan? Why the advantage of having the retained earnings for the company? Number one is economical. So that when the economy go down, that we have, for example, like in pandemic before this, okay, last year, okay, pandemic, we must have a lockdown so that the economy go down, right? Okay, so if the company have the retained earning, so the company will use the retained earning, okay, for example, to pay the salaries or to pay the expenses of the business. Okay, number two is efficiency and productivity. So to increase the efficiency of the daily operation, so the company will have the money for it. Okay, the third is confidence of shareholders. Okay, if we have money that we put aside, so if anything happens, okay, to our business, kita akan ada sediakan payung sebelum hujan, for example. Kita ada duit untuk uh, menyelesaikan masalah tersebut. Contoh dia. Okay. So, kita akan membuatkan shareholders of the company tu lebih confident kepada management of the company. Okay. Enhance credit worthiness. Okay. And then less financial risk. Less financial risk, it means that if you have the money or retain earnings, you tak perlu lagi lah go to make a loan from the bank or financial institution. Okay. So kalau kita tak meminjam duit kepada pihak lain, so dia akan mengurangkan financial risk. Okay, reduce the financial risk. Okay, and then repayments of debenture and term loans. Bila kita ada duit lebihan, so kita boleh repay back our loans yang long term ataupun liability yang jangka masa panjang. That is the advantages of having retained earnings, right? More. Other than that, reduce the reliance, help expansion, helps automation, okay, used to meet working capital needs, follow a stable dividend policy. Okay, there is many advantages of having retained earnings. Freedom to take their own decision. Okay, how about to the shareholders? What is the advantage if the company, what is the advantage to the shareholders if the company having retained earnings? The first one is to appreciation in share value. So that if the company have more profit, so that they will have the money to pay or to appreciate their shareholders. So that shareholders will get dividend. Right? Dividend is the amount of money that is specifically for the shareholders. Return, the return of on investment in terms of dividend for the shareholders. Okay, and then shareholders also will get the bonus shares ataupun regular dividends and security value. Okay, how about the advantages of the retained earnings to the society? Increase capital formation, okay, help speedy development, okay, benefits to the consumer. Okay, that is the advantages to the society. And then social welfare activities. Okay, how about the disadvantages or demerits of carving back of profits? Okay, so danger of manipulation, alright, chances of overcapitalization. Maksudnya company tu kalau dia terlalu banyak simpan, dia akan jadi overcapitalization. Ataupun improper use of retained earnings. Bila dah banyak sangat retained earnings, takut some of the employees ataupun management tu akan salah gunakan duit retained earnings tadi. No share of dividend lead to excessive speculation, lead to more demands from employees, again more demands from employees, concentration of economic power in few hands. Alright, so that is about retained earnings. So how about what EPS? Okay, EPS is earning per share. So earning per share, what is it? The portion of a company's profit allocated to each outstanding share of common stock. Okay. How much that the business allocate the earnings for the share? That is called earning per share. Okay, what is the use of earning per share? EPS is used particularly by investor and analysts. Okay, if we calculate EPS so that we can identify, we can assess the performance of the company and to compare the performance of company with that of other company. So kita nak comparekan performance of many companies by assessing their earning per share. So we have the formula for earning per share. So how about EPS and diluted EPS? Okay, this is the formula to calculate EPS. Okay, basic earning per share is equal to net. NP is referring to net profit. Good. Minus with preference dividend. And then divided with the number of equity shares. Number of shareholders. Okay. The number of shares. Number of shareholders. Number of shares. Okay. Let's look at this example. If company has 100,000 equity share and 50,000, 10% cumulative. Okay, dia kata 10% cumulative preference share amounted to 50,000. Equity share 100,000. Nampak beza 100,000 equity share and also preference share 50,000. The company reported net profit of 500k for the year ended. Okay, so how to calculate the EPS? Okay, so we have the profit is 500,000, outstanding equity is 100,000. So how about our preference dividend? Okay, preference dividend. Okay, you see here, we have a preference share 50,000. Okay, preference share. Okay, you must remember, share we have two types. The first one is ordinary share. The second one is preference. Ordinary share is also similar with equity share. Okay, so preference share is 50,000. So the dividend for the preference share is 10% out of 50,000. So 10% you times with 500,000 and 50,000. So you will get the dividend is 5,000. Alright? So okay, we consider this is RN, right? Because we in Malaysia. So 500,000 is net profit minus with preference dividend, that is 5,000. How come 5,000 you get from 50,000 times with 10%? Okay, so you get the preference dividend is 5,000. Okay, what is the number of equity shares? Equity share is just 100,000. So 500,000 minus with 5,000 divided with 100,000. So you will get RM 4.95 EPS, earning per share. Okay, So the higher EPS is the better. Okay. Earning means that how much, okay, for the how much earnings that you will get, how much earning that you have in order to pay their equity. 4.95 earning. Okay, itu maksud dia. Earning per share. Any question? How to calculate EPS? Can you understand, class? Alright, very good. Changes in equity. Changes in equity capital. The first one, issue and buyback of shares. And then second one is bonus issue and stock split. And the third one is right issue. Okay, this is all the types of shares that will change the equity capital. Okay, by issue or buy back the shares. Okay, by having a bonus issue and stock split. So the equity of the company will change. And then the third one is right issue. Okay. Okay, the first one is we calculate using the EPS basic. Okay, basic EPS. Okay, the second one, we also must know how to calculate the EPS based on weighted average number. Weighted average, it means that we calculate pro rate, using the pro rate. Okay, average number of shares. Okay, how to calculate the EPS using weighted average number of shares? So let's look. Example, the company X have 100,000 outstanding common shares for 9 months, and due to issuing new common stock has 120,000 outstanding shares for the remaining 3 months. Okay. So, macam mana kita nak calculate? How to calculate the weighted average of the stock? Okay. Weight for 100,000 tadi, okay, would be 9/12 because nampak ni. Outstanding dia 9/12. 9 months. It means that 9/12 lah. Okay, dalam dia outstanding selama 9 bulan. So 9/12 darab dengan 75. And the weighted for 120,000 shares would be 3/12. So you divide 3/12. Where is my calculator? Okay. You just divide 9/12. 9 divided with 12. So you will get 0.75. 9 divided by 12, you will get 0.75. Okay. So, and then how about 120 shares? 3 months, right? Outstanding share for the remaining 3 months. So 3 divided by 12, you will get 0.25. So how to calculate the weighted average? Okay, you must times 0.75 with 100,000 plus with 0.25 times 120,000. So you will get 75,000 times 75,000 add with 30,000. So the weighted average of the shares is 105,000. Okay. Can understand or not how to calculate the weighted average? Okay, if the question gives The outstanding common share for 9 months and due to issuing new common stock 120,000 shares remaining 3 months. So you must times with the weighted average. That is 9 over 12, 0.75 times with 100,000 shares. So you will get 75,000. And then add on with the 30,000 because of 0.25 times with 120,000. So you will get 105,000. Is there any question how to calculate the weighted average for the shares? Alright, very good. Alright. So next is what is diluted earnings per share? Dilution is the reduction in EPS if the security converted into the common stock. Okay, so dia jadi makin sikit. Sebab apa? Security kita tadi, share kita tukar kepada common share. Okay? In simple words, we can say that diluted EPS is a performance indicator used to measure the quality of a company's earnings per share. If all convertible security like options, okay, warrants, convertible preferred shares were exercised. Okay, so that is called an EPS, dilution for EPS. Okay. If the convertible security, for example, warrant, convertible preferred shares were exercised. For example, let's look at an example. Trident Company has 100,000 shares. Okay. They have 100,000 shares. Okay, and 1,000 of 10% debentures of 100 convertible into 10 equity shares of each. It means that they want to convert, okay, the debenture to the common stock. Okay. So what is the calculation? For the year ended 31st March, the company has a profit after tax 500,000 and income tax 35%. So calculation of the company basic earnings per share as follows. Okay, you have 100,000 equity shares. So basic earning 500,000 the profit, net profit. Okay, if the company did not have a preference share, so you no need to minus with the preference dividend. Okay, in this question there is no preference share, so you just divide 500,000 of net profit with the equity share, that is 100,000. So the basic earning per share we got RM 5 Okay, you understand? 500,000 divided with 100,000. 500,000 is net profit. Okay, and then we divided with RM 100,000. 100,000 is our equity share. Okay, so the answer is RM 520. That is the basic. How we want to calculate the diluted EPS. Okay, we have a number of share, equity share 100,000, right? So what is the convertible debenture? Equivalent number of equity share of convertible debenture. How we calculate? 10 times with 1,000. How you times with 10 here into means that 100,000 debenture we want to convert. Okay, 100 debentures, we want to convert to 10 equity shares of each. So that one ringgit of debenture, we will get 10 equity. So you must multiply with 100 times with 10 equity shares. So how many equity that you will get after you convert the debentures? 10,000 equity shares. Again, you can understand or not? How we got 10,000 equity share? Because 100 debenture, 100 ringgit of debenture, 100 ringgit pula. 1,000, okay, 100 times with 10 equity times with 100 ringgit. So you will get 1,000. And then you times with 10 equity shares, so that your equity share is 10,000. 1,000 times with 10 shares. So we convert the debentures to the equity share amounted to 10,000 equity share. Okay, kita convertkan debenture tu menjadi equity share. So dapat jawapan dia 10,000. So total dia how much? Yang kita dah dilutekan dia punya debenture kepada equity share. So total equity share kita adalah 110,000. Right? Ni total kan. Okay, add on 100,000 number of equity share before this, and then start add with a number of equity share dan kita dah convert tadi, iaitu 10,000. So you will get total of the number of equity share for calculating direct diluted earning per share is 110,000. Okay, so profit after tax is the same, 500,000. So after that you must add on with the debenture interest after tax. Okay, how can we get the 65%? Because income tax rate is 35%. Okay, the debenture we must minus with the income tax rate, that is 35% minus 100%. So you will get again 100% minus with the tax rate, you will get 65%. So that the interest after tax is 1,000 times with 100 ringgit, okay, times with 10%, you must times with 65 after tax, so you will get 6,500 ringgit. So total adjusted, okay, kita kena cari dulu. Kita kena cari dulu profit yang baru, because of we have diluted. Kita ada debenture yang kita dah convert. Okay. So we must search for the new profit. New net profit. So our new adjusted profit 500,000 times with add on with 6,500. Okay. So the new profit that you will get is 506,500. Okay, adjusted profit for diluted earning per share. Okay, if we convert the debentures into equity share, then the profit is also changed. Okay, the profit is also changed. So what is the new diluted earning per share? That is our profit, net profit, the new net profit. 506,500 divide with the new equity share. Equity share after convertible tadi, after we convert the debenture is 110. Okay, new equity share. So you divide 506,500 with new equity share 110. So you will get the new diluted EPS is 4.61. Is if you compare with 5 ringgit, so the EPS is lower. Okay. So diluted, if you calculate for the diluted EPS, so the basic is more higher than the diluted earning per share. Because before basic earning per share, we got the 5 ringgit, right? So after we convert the debentures into the, right, there are two things here. After you convert the debentures into equity share, you must the equity share is changed into 110,000. Other than that, profit after tax is also changed. Okay, because the debenture we got the interest on debenture. Okay, after taxation we got 6,500 additional for the profit. So that the adjusted profit is 506,500. So if the net profit is changed to 506,500 and then equity share also changed into 110,000, so that the earning per share is also changed or diluted into 4.61. Right, that is the diluted calculation for EPS. Okay, so we know already the how to calculate the basic EPS and also diluted EPS. So is there any question for the EPS calculation? Okay, wait for a while. I want to search for the tutorial. Is there any tutorial to give to you? Okay, before that, let's look at the YouTube about this chapter, chapter 1 and also chapter 2. Hold on, please. Just want to share with you and search for the YouTube about this chapter. One idea. I didn't find. Okay, hold on. Okay, I just want to search for the tutorial. There is a tutorial, so I will give you to do. Okay, I'm so sorry because the tutorial is not there, but I will search for you and then later on I will give you and I put the question in the WhatsApp so that after that you will do that tutorial, okay? Yeah, yeah, is there elements? Alright. Okay, so you can do the tutorial one in the LMS. So after you do, and then we discuss next week. Okay, next week. Tomorrow we have a class, right? In the evening, 2 p.m. Right? Tomorrow, 2:30, 2:30 p.m. So you do first, and then tomorrow we will discuss the answer of the tutorial. Okay, I also want to give you tutorial 2 also. Tutorial topic 2. But then I will search for you first. And then I will put in the WhatsApp. Alright, so is there any question that you want to ask? No. Michelle, are you okay? Alright. Yeah? Yes? Yeah. Yes. That is correct. Wait for a while. I want to open it first. Alright, okay. Once again, what is your question, Michelle? That, oh my god. That is the, the first column there is the wrong answer. Okay? So you must fill in the correct answer. If you notice that for the B is the answer for each partner is personally liable for the debts of the business is deficit. That is a wrong answer. Okay? So you must put on the correct answer for that terms, for the words inside the list. Okay? So which one is the correct term? So and then you just try to do. If you don't understand how to do it, you can refer to the additional notes that I've given to you. Okay? If cannot do also, then we will discuss on the next tomorrow. We will discuss. Okay? Alright. Thank you so much. Bye. You're welcome. Bye.